Bandwidth of the Hauger History Podcast, graciously donated by Podbean.com. Thanks for the sponsorship and support of our classroom. Hello and welcome to an all-grades edition of the Hauger History Podcast with Mr. Hauger. I am the second part, and it's an all-grades edition, so it's tough to watch all of you in my classroom. Make sure you're on your best behavior. Follow us on Twitter at Hauger History, Hauger, and on YouTube, subscribe to Danny Hauger and the channel. It's great to have you in on this February day of 2017, talking about the history of Valentine's Day. We're going to talk about both the liturgical celebration having to do with the church and the romantic holiday celebrated today by chocolatiers and card makers everywhere. It's got to be the biggest day of the year, doesn't it? For all the big greeting card manufacturers and the makers of sweets. Hey, anytime we can have some sweets, I'm not complaining. Let's talk about Valentine's Day, also known as St. Valentine's Day or the Feast of St. Valentine, depending on where you are and what is the reason for your celebration. It's annually celebrated on February 14th. And it's one of those few calendar dates that I can remember the actual specific date of the holiday. I'm always stumbling for some of the other ones. Just kind of see them come along in the calendar. I don't know if you're like me or not, but it originated as a Western Christian liturgical feast day, honoring one of the early saints named Valentinus, and he's recognized as a significant cultural and commercial celebration in many aspects of the world because of him, but few people really know very much about him. He is commemorated since the High Middle Ages, and he's associated with love of courtship, love between couples. It's widely known that he was martyred and buried at the cemetery of the Via Flaminia, close to the Ponte Milvio in the north of Rome. And it's still uncertain whether he's been identified with one of two people in the same name. So you may have two different traditions based on your families, based on your martyrology, and based on your faith as well. You might be with one or two different St. Valentines. The Anglican Church in England and also the Lutheran Church will celebrate him. The Eastern Orthodox Church does as well, although his remembrance is on July 6th as Presbyter of Rome. St. Valentine in the Greek Orthodox Church will name him Valentinos or Valentina, and they'll observe their namesake of that day on their calendar on February 14th as well. Citing the Catholic Encyclopedia for a moment, they speak of three St. Valentines in connection with February 14th. One was a Roman priest, another the bishop of a city in Terni, Italy, and the third is said to be a saint who suffered on the same day with a number of companions in the Roman province of Africa for whom nothing else is known, so very little is there. Dismissal of an early 18th century rumor that St. Valentine's holiday was drummed up in an attempt to come before a pagan holiday of Lupercalia, but this has been dismissed by recent research and by people looking into the history of these faiths. Professor Jack B. Orrock of the University of Kansas led the debunking of those theories, but current legends say that the beginning of what we know today as Valentine's Day being a sentimental holiday and a day to care for your special someone started amid the 18th century. During the Middle Ages, it was believed that birds paired in mid-February, and thus there was a connection to nature and the romance of Valentine. All of these legends differ and are mainly theories and are open to both your interpretation and likely where you were raised and grew up as to which one that you believe to be the true idea and the true origin of Valentine's Day. St. Valentine of the Basilica of Santa Maria in Cosmedin in Rome, his remains are deposited into Madrid, and people go visit there as a pilgrimage, and they will leave donations, and that keeps a foundation open 24/7 to help people in need in the local community, which is a way of showing heart for your fellow man and woman as well. There are relics of these St. Valentines all over the world in many churches. Valentine's Day first became associated with romantic love in the 14th century under Geoffrey Chaucer. This was the prime of the origins of the things you think about with courtship and dating and following that special someone and doing everything you can to woo someone. It evolved into the presentations of gifts like flowers, confectionery, sugary sweets, in other words, and sending greeting cards known as Valentines. In Europe, they give to people these cards as a way of unlocking the giver's heart and as a romantic symbol. Speaking of symbols, we often see the figure of the winged Cupid, heart-shaped outlines, doves, and other pinks and reds will be found all over. Cupid is often portrayed as the son of the love goddess Venus and the war god Mars, and is seen in Greek and Roman cultures long before the origins of the modern Christian holiday or the secular traditions. The earliest surviving Valentines, as far as poems that have been recovered in relics, come from the 15th century, written by Charles, Duke of Orleans, to his wife, which commences, "I'm so tired of being so in love, my very sweet Valentine." That was written in 1415. And Valentine's Day is also mentioned in William Shakespeare's Hamlet in 1600 and 1601. "Tomorrow is St. Valentine's Day, all in the morning betime, and I a maid at your window to be your Valentine. Then up he rose, and donned his clothes, and upped the chamber door, let in the maid that out a maid never departed more." Act 4, Scene 5. Marriage became a popular theme in England on Valentine's Day in the 15th and 16th century. The popular verse "Roses are red" began in 1590, and in modern times, it's one of the biggest commercial holidays that we know in the United States. In the United Kingdom, $2 billion was spent on cards, flowers, and chocolates in 2005, and the United States nearly doubles that. In fact, the average Valentine's Day spending has increased every year in the United States from $108 a person in 2010 to $131 in 2013, which will project 2017 to be more than $150 spent per person on sweets and gifts for your sweet gift in your life. Oh, see what I did there? Well, I'm feeling all fluttered. I think I better go out and buy some chocolates for my wife, or maybe for the baby. All right, well, this has been Mr. Hauger talking about Valentine's Day, and I hope you enjoyed it. It's celebrated differently throughout the world, but go enjoy it however you like to and do something nice for someone else on this historic day. I hope this was helpful and educational for you. If it is, please subscribe on YouTube at the Danny Hauger channel or on our podcast at haugerhistory.podbean.com. Find us on iTunes, and thank you for your support. And happy Valentine's Day, everybody, from all of us, including me at the Hauger History Podcast. See you next time.